But I think the way to look at it as we learned to evaluate it and then implement it was to go tactical.
Neil Tway is the founder of Voltage, breaks down how to build, scale, and exit winning e-commerce brands using AI, data, and systems that create profit without sacrificing family or freedom.
While it's a strategy to look at how we incorporate better sales, more channels, better conversions, omni-channel sales through retail and everywhere else to expand the brand awareness, to push the narrative out to create more sales and opportunity, the tactics of it are most important to look at and why we would do that so that it rolls up to that strategy without taking away from the bottom line.
What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Van Ornum back with another edition of the Scaling Up Success Podcast brought to you by Cynergists. Cynergists is your fractional operations company that helps you grow exponentially faster at a fraction of the cost. Go check out Cynergists.com. Make sure also when you're listening, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channels. We are here and appreciate the followings. Today, I have Neil Tway on today. Neil, how are you today?
I'm doing good, man. Hey, Nebraska, go Huskers, right?
Go Big Red, baby. I know you're out in Missouri, right?
I am, yeah.
Man,
yep, out here in the Ozarks.
I love it, man. You know, that's some beautiful country right there.
It is. I think so. You know, I've lived on both coasts from Oregon to New York, and now I live in the Midwest, lived as far as Colorado and over here into Missouri. And quite honestly, there's nothing like the Ozark Mountains when you compare it to all these other places.
Absolutely, man. It's God's country up there or out there. But dude, tell us what you got going on, because you got a bunch of stuff in your Voltage holding company, right?
Yeah, dude. So we're launching brands, we're growing and scaling those companies. We're moving them to exit. We've exited a few. We've acquired a big one recently, and we're just in the process of, daily, weekly, monthly e-commerce fun. And it's the fourth quarter at the time we're doing this right now. I had a Black Friday. So by the time anybody hears this, it may have been before or after Black Friday. So tell me, hair on fire for fourth quarter, what it'll be like here in the next few months as we roll past that. But yeah, we got a lot of things going on in this particular niche, and I love e-commerce. I've just had so much fun with it, man. There's just so much to do and so much fun to have.
That is super cool. So what got you into being able into this niche? Because I mean, you've been in it a minute, but what inspired you to get started in this side of it?
Yeah, I got out of the, quote, entrepreneurial journey and into real business building around 2015 when we hit our first seven figures and our first brand. Up until then, I was still kind of trying to figure out where the holistic aspect of my business and growth and scale could come from. I had done well in different businesses. I had done poorly in others. I good at the direct marketing side. I had a lot of fun in the mobile marketing and affiliate side for a while, but then I just realized I wasn't owning both parts of the business. I wasn't owning just, the offer side. I wasn't owning the product side as well because of that affiliate relationship. So I'm like, man, I got to own both pieces. I want to be a real business. I want to be a real boy when I grow up, right? And so products became the physical products became the way for me to create the brand. The brand creates automation. It creates intrinsic value. It creates consistent customer and sales. It can do it 24/7 while you're sleeping. There's just a whole lot of benefits to this particular model that allow you to build multiple brands and don't have to necessarily scale my time, because the economies of scale are now built into the systems that are all around us, right? And when I got to that, I realized, okay, profitability first above all things. Discovering what the heck to sell is now all data driven, and who you sell it to is now data driven. The systems and platforms that want to sell them are all data driven. So I jokingly say I don't actually sell products to consumers. I sell data to AI engines.
No doubt on that. And It's so funny how the research behind it is taking over, so it's like you can almost plug and play with the right scenarios and the right products, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, you gotta have that knowledge to incorporate what you're looking at, or the data doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I could show it to 10 people, and if I don't train them on what to look at, 9 of them are gonna go, I don't know what I'm seeing exactly. But there's that huge component now that data is starting to drive that intellectual difference, and it's taking people who have no e-commerce experience and bringing them into really successful businesses because of it.
That is super cool, man. Well, what are you most proud about this journey? Because I mean, it seems like there's so much that it could be such a challenge, but at the same time, it's this level of discovery, right?
Yep. Yeah, it really is. And one of the things we've built is a data tool set that really helps make that easy for myself and my operators, my clients, our brands. We literally go into it and we drive questions based on customer need. And that customer need is coming off of platforms like Amazon, where it's telling me exactly which data is the right data to look at. It's like Jeff Bezos rolling up and being like, dude, sell this product. And then we take it out there in the market because there's demand for it. And we find out, will they buy this particular product from us and our brand at this price point? And then we optimize it. If we're, not right over the target out of the gate, we optimize that data with other data sets and other tool sets that helped us, look at it, analyze it, and then give, how we pull the leverage to make it more, optimized, convert better, and drive more sales. And it's just a process by which, the so much has changed in just 5, 6 years with a lot of those tools and automations that have come into play that help, replicate our ability to do things and take an individual and turn them into a 7 and 8 figure earner without operations and warehouses and stacking products in your, basement or garage or whatever. Those economies of scale are literally built into the planes, trains, and automobiles that move all my product. So what I'm most proud about, honestly, is my family, because with this particular business, I've been able to stay a part of their lives for the last 18 years every day. I've only traveled about 5 times away from them. It's been maybe 2 to 3 nights max. They've almost always come with me on the trips, unless it's a very short one. And we've homeschooled our children. We've built them around the business. They're now older ones are getting involved in helping with the business and pieces of its operations as they learn it. And we get to do this as a lifestyle. Our lifestyle is built around the business that operates our family, that becomes an integral part of our conversations around the table, our daily walk together. And I get to live in, both worlds that integrate. They're not separated. And that's one of the bigger things I fought for after leaving my corporate gig in 2008, seven, excuse me, 7, was to get away from the separation of that, and really make it a part of our life in the way we do things. And I think I'm the most proud of the fact that I've been able to maintain that with my family.
That is phenomenal, man. That is super cool. I love being able to hear those where like, you get your family time back because of what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. Very
Yeah.
cool, man.
And when we have to work, we should work for things we want to, right? Not things we have to. And then you get to
Exactly.
make fun choices. Like, do I really need this, or do I really want to do that? Or just because I can, should I?
Right.
And it comes with, 18 years to an overnight success. It can be done faster than that. I've been able to help people do it in like 3 to 5 years. Daniel, for example, we brought him up a brand. He's now exiting in 5 years at 29 million. So you want to talk about
Wow.
scale. These systems are so scalable beyond, I think, most people's comprehension, that they tend to think a little scarcity in their mindset as to what and how and big these information systems are now moving online.
Incredible, man. Well, one of the things that I'm really interested in your side, and you've been talking about it, moving around that piece a lot, is like
Yeah.
the industry trends, man. Like,
Mhm.
like I know AI is playing a big part into what you're
Mhm.
doing and stuff like that. Have you seen a big movement over in the last like 5, 10 years?
Yeah, we got involved about 5 years ago more in the learning process of what it was doing and where it was going. And then it was until about 3 years ago where we actually started to tactically integrate AI into our operations. I think a lot of people think it's the overarching umbrella thing that you do in your company. And what I think it's mistakenly looked at is kind of a save all my problems in business solution from, emails and direct marketing and direct copywriting and response marketing and dealing with your customers and all this stuff. It can play a role in those things, but I think the way to look at it, as we learned to evaluate it and then implement it, was to go tactical. So while it's a strategy to look at how we incorporate better sales, more channels, better conversions, omni-channel sales through retail and everywhere else, to expand the brand awareness, to push the narrative out, to create more sales and opportunity, the tactics of it are most important to look at, and why we would do that, so that it rolls up to that strategy without taking away from the bottom line. So as we looked at those implementations, what it's done is it's allowed me to have operators that can run 4 or 5 of these companies in their build, growth, and optimization stages, where they use AI dashboards, blinky lights, and literally, tools we built and tools we incorporate into the movement of these products, logistics, freight, management, sales, direct response, the PPC management side. It's like dashboard driven now, because those AI tools are helping them fulfill roles where we would have usually put people in the past. We're now putting systems that are creating replications of that across operators. So now I have 4 operators who are using each of those systems to manage these 12 companies plus an additional 12 we directly control that we don't own, but we direct manage over, and let them take on the operational controls that basically force replicate one person into 10 different people. So we used to have like a strike team concept, and now I don't. My strike team is 4 people with like the equivalent of 20 people's worth of work. That's where tactically this has been the most important to the way we roll additional products and launches into our brand lines. We look at the data, we analyze the existing business, and then we understand cash flow and deployment. It really helps us with our ROI churn on e-commerce, which is shooting for that 4 inventory churns a year metric. And that's really done at the tactical level. And I don't think so many people understand that there's a balance between, revenue and expediting AI into your systems, but it goes straight to the bottom line. But you have to have an ROI target to see that turn, because you're never going to hit the growth, profitability, and scale you want. You'll get the growth without the profitability, and that's not very sexy at all.
Man, dropping the knowledge bombs across the whole thing there, man. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing all of that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we can keep going, man. Keep asking whatever you want to know. I'm
Well, and
transparent, man.
I love it. And that's the thing. It's like being able to take like what technology and AI is producing for you, be able to, like you said, you basically are getting the production of 20 staff members with about four or
100%.
five.
We used to have a
Incredible.
five-man research team on the what the hell do I sell question. Excuse my language.
Hmm.
What the heck do I sell?
You're
And
good.
now I literally take one operator, they go into my system, they go through our need scanner, they look exactly at the needs and demand that is matching Amazon. We take our product and greenlight process and overlay that, and then literally just identify those products where we see high profitability, high demand, and we don't see a competitor that's currently meeting a slightly different, unique selling position, and we simply go market test that product into that brand once we identify that. So it's literally like an hour-long process to identify that research. It takes one person, not 5 now, to get all that data, and then analyze that product for its evaluation into a market launch to determine whether or not it should go into a full product launch once the data tells us did we knock it out of the park. And with these systems like, Amazon's Cosmos system and TikTok's algorithm and Facebook and Meta now going through the Andromeda updates, the data is literally being ran by those systems now. You just have to understand what you're looking for, which is a big knowledge component. And then you have to know that you're looking at the right data and understand what it actually means so that you can implement it correctly. Right? That's a huge 3-step process that a lot of people miss in their business.
Man, that's great. I love that, man. Thank you for sharing all of that. We're going to transition a little bit. One of the things that we do on this podcast is we do a little rapid fire questions over like just get to know the founder, the CEO type. Are you up for that?
Yeah, man, let's fire away.
All right. Do you have like a book that you're reading, like a favorite book?
At this moment, I don't have a favorite book. I have some favorites in my head that I have read that I constantly keep referencing in my business and daily walk that just, the pieces of page 56 come back and it's like, oh, yeah, that's what I was referring to. Like, Good to Great is another
Oh, that's
one.
a great one.
Oh, it's such a good one, dude. There's so many lessons to unpack. You can read it 3 or 4 times and still get information that's completely relevant at this point to why I have a good business, but why I can't make it great.
Yeah,
And if you make it great, how can you pass a barrier now where you watch those companies that were case studied and they're actually fail and go bankrupt, which is a great learning lesson and in not doing what they did past the point of greatness.
absolutely. I love that, man. Thank you. Like what type of beverages do you drink? Like coffee, tea, water, soda, energy drinks?
I drink mostly water, but I also love Zevias. Like creamy root beer is one of my favorites, and no calorie, no sugar. It's made from stevia, and they have like a cherry cola and stuff. So I get to have one of these, but as long as I've drank a full one of these, so I have to get the full water, and then I can have my Zevia. So it's like my thing. And then I drink coffee, usually black with a little almond creamer.
There
Is
you
my
go. Got to earn it,
no
right?
energy. Yeah, nothing that can messes up the clarity or makes me slow down. Nothing with high sugars, that kind of junk, and certainly no energy drinks.
I dig it, man. Do you have a bucket list travel spot that you want to take your family on?
Yeah, I've traveled a lot in my life before I met my wife and children and got to see a good part of all the world, really. There's an island off of Trinidad called Tobago, which is this little island just off the coast up in the Caribbean style waters. And I actually had a super fun time there. And I would love to take my wife and children back there sometime. We just haven't got to it yet.
Very cool.
Yeah.
If you had a superpower, which one superpower would you want?
Oh, wow. Just one?
Just one.
That's a No one's ever asked me that. I never thought about that. My girls love the Marvel comic movies. I guess I'm thinking for my brain, I'm like, what do I want to be? Thor? Do I want to be like Loki?
Right?
I honestly don't know which one I would say. I guess off the cuff, I would say super strength.
Nice. Okay. Like
They,
the super soldier serum, like Captain America.
yeah, something like that. Let's go Captain America. There you go, because I'm a full patriot, so I'll take that
There
one.
you go. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
My wife and I have been getting up walking every morning at 5 miles. We try to go every day when it's not like -20 here, because in those arcs, like in Nebraska, those winds get bitter.
Oh,
But we try to get up earlier every morning, like 6:30 to 7, which is not really something I'm normally doing because I'm more of a late night owl. So
okay.
I can usually stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning easy and then get up by 6 or 7 and go. I have a natural energy affinity for things that most people need 8 hours. I can do 4 hours and be fine.
I dig it, man. Do you have like a go-to cheat meal?
A go-to cheat meal. I don't. I have really put the another pillar of my personal goals in line. I have a pillar of five. I call it the five Fs, and one of them is not what you think it is. I've now got six. It's fitness. I've spent since April of 2024. My wife and I just got up one day and we just made a personal commitment to get the shape, the age, and I made a commitment to get 50 pounds off by 50. I will be 50 in February of 2026 on the 27th, and I'm now 40, just almost 41 pounds down.
Nice.
So
Congratulations.
thank you. My cheat meals are not really cheat meals then, because I really am being pretty strict on the calorie and intake, and I try to eat very clean. If I were just to go off the rails, it would be pizza.
Okay.
It'd be just
Okay.
a regular old pepperoni pizza with green olives on it. Love it.
Nice. Okay.
In fact, there's a place
So,
that sold the green olive pizza in Lincoln. That's where I finally first discovered it. I can't remember the name of it, but there's this cool little pizza joint where they do like the cornmeal, style crispy. Gosh, I can't
mhm.
remember the name of that place, but they had pepperoni with green olives. It's the first time I ever had it and fell in love with it.
Interesting. I'll have to rack my
I have to
brain
remember
over.
the name of that place.
I know, right? If you could have dinner with a historical figure, either living or deceased, who would it be?
Dinner with a historical figure, living or deceased. Is it
Just
gonna
want
sound
to
is it gonna
just
sound
want to
cheesy if
pick.
I say Jesus?
Go ahead.
Because I would say Jesus.
Awesome, man. Very cool.
I have to go way
Uh,
back.
take it at old school, right?
Let's go back 2025 years.
Exactly. Last one to wrap it up. Do you have like when you're on your workouts, do you have a favorite type of genre on your playlist?
No, because I just focus on my wife. So for those 4 miles, it's usually over an hour, and we just talk.
Awesome.
I jokingly say she's my Abigail, who was John Adams, wife who consulted him a lot. She just talks about things. She thinks about them differently. We talk about life, business, finance, the kids, all of it. And so she's my playlist.
You absolutely smoked that rapid fire, my friend. Well done.
The weirdest answers anybody's ever gave.
No way, man. That was great. So, a couple questions just to wrap up here. Like, if you could go back in time, and we're gonna
Mm,
do like a little time travel here. Go back in
okay.
time to like when you were maybe getting out of high school, somewhere around that time. And what one piece of advice would you give yourself?
Don't change a thing. You're gonna love how it turns out.
Oh man, that's cool. That's
Don't
cool.
change a thing, man. Because there's a million decisions that got me to where I'm at. Like in high school, as you pointed out, that one particular, I was headed for the Air Force. I wanted to be a military pilot. I was going to be a fighter pilot or nothing. I didn't even apply for college. It wasn't my plan. The counselors were like, "You're stupid." I'm like, "I don't care. I want to be a fighter pilot." And I got ejected from the training program because I was almost 6'5" and it's above my waist to my head. So when they put the helmet on and tried to close the cockpit, it wouldn't close. So I got ejected from the program.
Oh man. Yeah,
So again,
I
all
was
these
Air
choices.
Force. I was Air Force too, but I
There
didn't
you
fly
go.
planes. I just did the satellite setup.
Oh,
So
very cool. Well, thank you for
yeah,
your service.
absolutely, man. Well, thank you for what you did as man. And dude, now that you've kind of seen where you've been and how you travel, where do you see yourself in like 5 years?
In about 5 years, which is going to be roughly 55, I don't see myself changing much of what I do. I've got a lot of control over my schedule. I have a lot of control over my businesses. My brands are going to keep growing. So in 5 years, I'm going to have 12 brands maturing, maybe more. And at this point, with so many operations under control and logistics and so many of the details now handled by all of that, I just would probably slow down in hours just a little bit. I'm not going to stop. So I see myself pretty much doing what I'm doing in 5 years with maybe just a little bit less time restriction on some of the things I would prefer not to do. And we're working on some of that now. And yeah, I don't see myself retiring. I don't see myself exiting everything until my brain gives up. Well, I will not need to stop. And I'm not a golfer, and I'm not going to be slowing down in life. So retirement for me is, I don't know, man, 5 years. That's a hard question. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Well, Neil, I'm excited to see where your journey takes you from here on out, man. People are interested in knowing more about what you do and your businesses. How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, if they're a podcaster, go to High Voltage Business Builders, check out our podcast. We have a weekly release and we have a Friday in review series that talks down in the bullet points of what's going on in the ecom world. Check out the book at voltagedm.com. Look me up on social media. I've got a 3-letter last name. No, there's not a lot of twas. And if you're watching this on a video, I'm not Asian. It's actually Scottish. I get mistaken by that with my voice. People are like, oh, that's not what I thought you would look like. But yeah, check me out online. Check out where we're going. Check out the workshops. Check out the book. If you are a high kicking person, a high aspiring entrepreneur, or somebody who's like me and wanted to leave their job and don't know where to go and think e-commerce may be the opportunity, check it out. We do a very close, tight-knit applicant only one-on-one 12-month coaching. We're going to be wrapping that up soon in terms of next year because we're focused predominantly on softwares and brands. So yeah, if you've got a building interest in e-com and you want to know what we're doing more, check it out.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for your time today. It was very appreciated. Thanks for coming on the Scaling Up Success podcast.
Thanks for having me on, Ryan. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. Once again, signing off, Ryan Van Ornum with the Scaling Up Success podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, like, comment, and subscribe to all of our videos. And best of luck with everything you got going on, Neil. And take care, everyone. Stay blessed.